Hi everyone, Spider-Man 1991 here with another Spidey Vlog, and today I'm going to be discussing the character Quicksilver, who is going to appear, apparently going to appear in both Avengers 2 and, just found out yesterday, of X-Men Days of Futures Past. Alright, okay, so we know, if you've been following comic book resources or Comic Vine or some comic book related news site, you know that a couple months ago Joss Whedon did leak some news from Avengers 2 that they will be using the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. I was excited. I thought, hey, those are two well-known Avengers. They'll do well. And just yesterday, Bryan announces that he is not only going to use Quicksilver, but he's already cast him for X-Men Days of Futures Past. Okay, so now, and today, a few hours ago before setting up the camera, I just found out that now Marvel Studios and Fox are kind of in a legal standoff here about what to do with the character. So, alright, well, let's take a look at both sides. Quicksilver is one of the characters in the we all know that in the Marvel Universe there's two main superhero teams. There's the Avengers and there's the X-Men. And this whole situation with Quicksilver is kind of like Avengers vs. X-Men all over again. But the thing is, and Quicksilver is, has been both a popular character of the Avengers and the X-Men. However, I think Quicksilver spent a lot more of his time with the Avengers than he ever did with the X-Men. Yeah, he did first appear in X-Men as a member of Magneto's original Brotherhood, and yes, he is Magneto's son, but they didn't reveal he was Magneto's son till, many years later after, Avengers 185. 185, that's when they began the story arc where we learn the truth that Magneto is the father of the Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver. And, another thing, though, Singer only said Quicksilver, not Wanda, the Scarlet Witch, or anything like that. So she's probably still going to be an stick to Avengers 2. But yeah, Avengers 2. But I really think Quicksilver. Let's take a look here. Avengers wise, he spent most of his time with the Avengers. He pretty much follows. He has a close relationship with his sister. So naturally, if Quicksilver is going to appear for the first time in the movie, he's going to be with Wanda. And since Joss Whedon is using both Wanda and Pietro, then obviously he's going to be with her for Avengers 2. Great setup there. And on the X-Men side, though, he is Magneto's son. That's one of the things I find interesting about the character. But he didn't know he was his son until many years later. Even while they were in the Brotherhood, he didn't even know. And again, this wasn't revealed until 1979, which was at least 10 years after the characters first appeared. But the only thing that Quicksilver would be, I think as a hero just by himself, he was more of an Avenger than an X-Man. And I know Quicksilver was on I think the only X-Men related team he was ever on was X Factor. But other than that, I really don't think Quicksilver was ever an official X-Man. And the only reason he would be in probably the X-Men movies is if he is probably just like how he's been portrayed in all the other X-Men, all the last few X-Men cartoons we've seen over the past few years. X-Men Evolution, Wolverine the X-Men is when he's pretty much on Magneto's side and working with the Brotherhood, and is more of a, I don't know, I'd say he's more of an anti-hero or villain. Well, I don't think he's a villain, more of just an antagonist and anti-hero in those sort of situations with the X-Men cartoons. But he was always on Magneto's side. And in the comics, he doesn't really start to see Magneto's way till many years later, until after he knows Magneto's his father and stuff like that. But yeah, and also today, before I did this, I did do a little more digging, and I did come across some information that said Singer just wants to use Quicksilver and basically a short action scene or something, but I really didn't hear any word whether or not he's going to interact with Magneto. Oh, by the way, the person Singer chose to play Quicksilver is an actor named Evan Peters, who is in American Horror Story. I don't watch the show, but if you watch that and heard me say the name, then hopefully that'll ring a bell, and you can say in the comments whether or not he's good. I think that really I would rather see Quicksilver. My opinion, I would rather see if he's not going to interact with Magneto, if you're not going to say he's Magneto's son, then I really would prefer Quicksilver in the Avengers than X-Men. Okay, whatever Singer's doing, and right now we have a lot of characters in Days of Futures Past. I think that might be really pushing the envelope with the X-Men movies, because I think having too many characters, that can either be a good thing or a really big disaster. Like, no one gets enough screen time, or dedicated fans of those heroes might not feel like they got not enough time on screen, that sort of thing. But yeah, also, again, like I said, when Quicksilver was with the Avengers, he was much more of a hero, but with X-Men, he was a little more of an anti-hero, supervillain type deal. So I would rather see Quicksilver as an Avenger than an X-Man in this situation. And also if both movies do have Quicksilver, there's not going to be an X-Men Avengers crossover. That is definitely, they already said that in all the news I've read. There's not going to be an Avengers. This doesn't mean we're going to see like, oh sweet, there's going to be an Avengers X-Men crossover. No, there isn't. So just get that idea out of your head right now. This whole Quicksilver business does not mean the X-Men and Avengers film franchises are going to come together. No, it's not. And if anything, they can't make any references to each other because, again, they're owned by two different studios. I mean, Avengers, that's Marvel Studios, and Fox has all the X-Men film rights. So the way it works is, the way that's going to work is X-Men Days of Futures Past isn't going to make any reference to Quicksilver being an Avenger. In fact, when Bryan Singer tweeted that he had Quicksilver and already cast and stuff, the original tweet was, before he was an Avenger, he was a really fast kid, but then apparently Singer had to go back and edit the tweet and say, and just basically say, Evan Peters is going to be joining Days of Futures Past as Quicksilver. Yeah, and Avengers can't really make any reference to Magneto or X-Men. I don't know what that means for the word mutant, okay? Because I mean, if they can't at least, I mean, they should at least be able to say that Wanda and Pietro are mutants, okay? That's just basic stuff. I mean, not really something you can. I don't really think that would be a big issue with Fox. I mean, if Joss Whedon's just gonna say, okay, I'm not gonna say they're Magneto's kids, I'm just gonna say that they're a couple of mutants. No, you can't do that. You can't do that. That's against our rights or whatever. That's just really dumb of Fox. I mean, they can't. I mean, yeah, they can't make any reference to X-Men or Magneto, but they can at least say they're mutants. I hope they get that in there. But nevertheless, I really think that hopefully both studios can work this thing out. I think if Bryan Singer didn't already cast Quicksilver, then it would be more. It is possible that Quicksilver probably would have been more then the ball would have been more in Avengers court, and this issue would have been done a lot faster. But Singer already has his Quicksilver cast. I think they are going to make a few rewrites to Avengers 2 right now. That hasn't even started filming yet, basically because Days of Futures Past is going to come out next summer, and Avengers 2 not till 2015. So yeah, I think as far as where I'm on the issue, I really hope that Quicksilver is able to appear in both movies. I hope that, whichever movie he is in, they get the most out of that character with that franchise, okay? With Avengers, I really hope Quicksilver is shown more as a hero. With X-Men, if he's in the X-Men movies, I really hope that they... Excuse me. Yeah, sorry about that. I've been sick for the past few days. That's yeah, but Quicksilver, I really hope that they do some stuff with Magneto's dad and do stuff like that. I mean, that's probably the only reason Quicksilver would be involved in the X-Men franchise, is just if they want to play with the relationship he has with his father Magneto. That's it. If you're not going to do that, then I say just let him be in Avengers and that's it, because that is probably where he was where Quicksilver is in his prime, where people remember him as a hero, is with the Avengers. Okay, that's everything I have. If you have any more information you want to give, please post in the comments. Also, post whether you want Quicksilver, which team you really want Quicksilver on. So I really hope Fox and Marvel really work this out, try to figure out where they're going to go with it, and hopefully both movies will be awesome. Okay, so thank you for watching. Thank you for liking this video if you liked it, and subscribing. Spider-Man 1991, saying see you later.